Guys, I'm with my good friend Hugo, professional photographer. We're gonna be walking around doing some street photography, and from a professional perspective, he's gonna kind of give us, from his eyes, what he's seeing, what he's looking for. And so, yeah. So Hugo, you wanna say something to the camera?
Hello.
There you go. Yeah, it's cold. My hands are cold. We're gonna try to not freeze our asses off, but yeah, stick around and hope you like.
So a lot of times too, I'll, like if it looks like it's too harsh, I'll just turn my camera to black and white.
Oh, right on.
And it looks fucking amazing in black and white.
Yeah, like a picture profile in the camera?
Yeah, just whatever, the A-Cross in Fuji.
Yeah.
I think I put it on the red filter, and it looks amazing.
You can never go wrong with black and white, man. So what do you look for when you're like setting up your shots? Do you like try to use like a framing technique or?
Yeah. Not really a framing technique, just whatever I think looks good, really. Yeah, so like right now, I wish I had a 28.
Oh,
35.
Yeah.
I'm like right over here. I'm not getting the shot that I want or the look that I want.
Low to the ground looks really cool.
Oh, let's see. Oh, that ice cream store, it used to be, I think it's still owned. It's still owned by, she used to be a photographer. And then she stopped doing photography and opened up the ice cream shop. And she was pretty popular. I was thinking, like, what are you doing? Like, you're a popular photographer. Why are you gonna stop and sell ice cream?
Right.
But that was years and years ago. So I guess she's doing okay. I even like the branches, how they're coming in.
Right.
I think anything interesting that adds to the photos, all right.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah. The branches, yeah.
That fucking light really brings out the colors too. Hell yeah.
Yeah.
What are you shooting with? The lens?
This 16 to 50.
1650.
So
is that like
zoom, a power zoom?
Is it 2.8 all the way or?
No, it's 3.5.
3.5 to start and
yeah.
5.6 something
and then
or
it goes to 5. Yep. Yeah. Man, the colors look amazing right now, dude.
They
in the
do.
Sky.
When there's clouds in the sky, like, oh, chef's kiss, man.
Right?
Yeah.
Well, I find like you have to, like in post, I have to like bring down the highlights and do all this other stuff to really get that, to see the different, shadows in the clouds.
Yeah. You've been down here, right?
No, dude.
Oh, let's take a quick look. Yeah, like on a sunny day like this, I have to expose for the highlights, right?
Yeah.
Just because I trust the cameras now have like more detail in the shadows, or more dynamic range for the detail in the shadows, and they all do pretty well. Even the iPhone does really well with the shadows too.
Yeah.
Holy fuck, this looks cool.
Oh wow, yeah. Do you hit your exposure like right on the money, or do you go to the right or to the left?
So, like, if I want to keep the highlights, then I'll expose for the highlights. If I don't, then I'm gonna expose for like this plant or whatever.
Right.
I won't care if I'm blowing out the highlights elsewhere.
I find like whenever I'm looking at different photographers online, depending on what they're shooting on, like if it's an iPhone, they're like exposing under to the left, but if they're using a camera, they're like maybe a little over to the right, like not going over 1.3 or whatever. But
yeah, I mean, I never really understood that because you can look visually,
Right.
And if you and if you know your camera, you know where you're gonna mess up.
Right. Yeah.
So right now I'm exposing for the highlights, so my shadows aren't completely dark.
Yeah.
And my highlights aren't completely blown, but like kind of in the middle there, so I can bring back both.
Yeah.
But this looks really good right here.
Do you have zebras on?
No. I'm used to like visually, whether I'm gonna fuck something up or.
Yeah. I'm like, dude, I need the fucking training wheels, man.
No.
How many years have you been doing this?
Since 2009, I think.
2009.
2009, I shot. My first paid gig was a wedding. It's like a two-hour wedding.
2 hours.
2 hours, yeah.
Shit.
And then it just took off from there.
Is that one thing that you've found, like trying different types of gigs to find your niche and be like, I think I don't like weddings, or like I think I like doing events, or
yes. So I one of the first few things I did, actually one of the first things I did was shoot Pakistani and Indian weddings.
Oh, cool.
And those are really nice.
Yeah, 'cause all
and
the colors and
yeah,
the
yeah.
garments they
and
wear.
it's a party, you know,
Yeah.
much more so than like American weddings.
Right.
So I was really into that for several years, and then I gradually moved to American weddings.
Yeah.
And that was just a little different. I don't think American weddings are for me.
Sure.
I think there's. I think right now a lot of people want hands-on photographers.
Yeah.
Whereas I'm just kind of like hands-off.
Yeah.
You know, I'm just going to be photographing your day the way I see it.
Right.
And I think a lot of people are really wanting that hands-on, you know, every detail
Yeah.
given to them by their photographer. I always look at these two buildings and I'm thinking like, how can I photograph it a different way?
Yeah.
You know, so I'm always like trying to snap just a couple images of these two buildings because like,
They're the biggest ones.
I don't know that they're the biggest ones, but they just kind of look cool and they're both together.
Yeah.
And I don't think I've ever been satisfied with what I've gotten, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
You see how the light, like it's in shadow and then
Yeah.
in the light?
There you go.
Because I'm so short, you know? I try to come out here like different times of the day too. Like the morning, the evening, it looks completely different. During the day, it looks completely different. Did you get anything?
Yeah,
Yeah?
it's just interesting. The hotel is giving me grief because I went to take a nap. Like, I don't want a nap. I just want to walk.
Yeah.
Just walking in like random photogs, dude.
Yeah.
Never noticed it before. Never noticed that before.
There's always like two or three. I'll always run into like two or three. There's this photographer that I follow, and he always does like these, bright highlights, and somebody walking like in a hat and briefcase in the shadows. Right, it looks pretty cool. And I'm thinking like, how the fuck you get this? This one type person with a briefcase, with a hat.
Yeah.
Are they? Well, one, I'm thinking, are they everywhere where you are? You know, because I know nobody here is like dressed like that.
Just like that, yeah.
But then it hit me. That's him.
He's doing it himself.
He's doing it himself.
Do you have a remote or something? Or a timer?
Yes. I went to Chicago, and I stayed off of Michigan Avenue. I stayed off of, which was really pretty.
Right by the lake.
Yeah, it's really pretty, and the walk was really nice, and I took some pictures. But like if you walk far enough, you see like there's this whole other part of Chicago, right?
Right.
It's like subways,
Yeah.
and like an urban area, and I was like, fuck, man! I
would be
spent
really
all this
cool.
time. I spent all this time like
In the
on
touristy
Michigan,
area.
yeah, on Michigan Avenue. I should have been like under the subway and stuff.
Yeah.
That was really pretty.
That's a money shot, man.
Are you just like snapping away at anything that's cool?
Yeah, like if it catches my eye, I'm like, man, I've been.
Is it color or is it lines or?
I was mainly doing color stuff, and then now I'm really starting to pay attention to lines. Like, that's been kind of the thing I've been really trying to make sure I'm aware of. Like, because before I'd just be snapping just for the color, or if it just caught my eye, and then I'd start realizing like, man, that's not a good frame, or like, doesn't look great.
Yeah.
It doesn't look right, you know?
Right. It looks better in my eye, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I take several frames, and then I try to use the different lenses too.
Yeah.
Just so that I have variety in that one moment.
That's what I find challenging with like a prime lens. You're kind of stuck stuck with.
Yeah, but you kind of get more creative.
Yeah.
I think because you're forced to
Move
use
around.
that, where you're forced to make it work.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
How can I make this work? Even if like the picture that you were envisioning doesn't happen, like you can get a different picture, hopefully, that you wouldn't have normally.
Man, these are great photos, dude. Yes.
Have you hit it wide yet?
Not too wide.
No, wide. Try
Yeah,
that.
let's try.
And then also landscape too. Try
Yeah,
that.
let's do that. Oh yeah.
It just
Okay.
looks like it's popping out.
Yeah.
It's almost like a mountain, you know, to me.
Yes.
And if you get low enough,
Yeah.
it just looks like it's just a tower.
Yeah.
And it's cool lines. It's just an amazing parking lot.
How many camera bodies do you have?
Right now it's only 2, but I've traded up from, shit man, I've had a lot.
Yeah.
I've had Panasonic, Fuji, several Fujis, a couple Panasonics. I've had Canons, Nikons.
Yeah. Oh, that looks great.
Yeah, right? I wish there was some clouds in the sky.
Oh yeah, 'cause that'd
And-
really give it
yeah.
dynamic. Oh yeah, these lines, that parking lot, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.